Well, first, let's address the kids and the way the game is going now. I grew up in the era, and it's funny because I just got through talking to my man Hendog about this. I grew up in the era where we played, and I always compliment and it's fascinated the way LeBron James trains. I'm just like, man, if I ever had trained that way, no telling where my game had went, and how long I probably could have played. Because I remember me and Grant Hill together going, yeah, you give me one game and I give you the business, but after the next tomorrow, I won't be able to walk. That's why that's that old age kicking in. You can't do it back to back, and it's so hard. I remember being in Minnesota, and we played a game the night before. We got into Minnesota late, and trust me, I could not move. Like if the room service came, I'm like, you got to open the door because I cannot move from my bed, and I could not move until about 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. And I'm talking about cannot move, holding. I got to use the bathroom. I got to hold it until 3 p.m., 4 p.m. And, the bus leaves at 5:45. I can barely move.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's how much of a grind NBA seasons are. I mean, you could barely move. And especially that lockout season when we had the back-to-backs, man, it just was really brutal on us. But what EPLAY does, and I said it before, if I would have had EPLAY diagnose me out of college, I would have been a top 5 lottery. I would have been, even if you go through my draft, Derek Coleman, Gary Payton, I would have been the top 5. I would have been a top 5 pick because they saw the tangibles that I can do. One, I can get you 25, 30 points without having to play. That's what EPLAY Sports shows you, that he has great basketball sense, his shooting percentage, where he gets the ball. Somebody with a team that needed somebody who had superstars and needed to add an extra punch, they would have been like, yo, I got to pick this kid up. No, low maintenance, all of it. He's in the right place at the right time. He sees things. He's this, that, and the other. So what EPLAY does is really pinpoint, like you said, and some of the names that drop off. Let me give you, you said the Van Vliets, but let me give you some big names where EPLAY comes into great. Kawhi Leonard, Paul George.
Right. Yeah.
These guys they will fill up EPLAY basketball. They will fill up the stats on EPLAY basketball. The way they play, the way they move. A guy like Draymond Green, Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan, guys who, smaller schools, not as much attention, but they are so effective, and, MVP votes and finals champions and all that. These guys, they really fill it up. So with you kids out there, one, like I said before, I grew up in an era where we wanted to play. We wanted to play all the time. Just play. It didn't work out. You must, I know parents, if you're listening, it's expensive. Yes, it's tedious, but you must get yourself a trainer. Get you somebody that can work on it. Because Kobe said it best. I'd rather go get 2,000 shots up and work on my game than play 2 hours and only get 10 shots up. You know what I'm saying? You got the chance of getting hurt. You know what I'm saying? So everybody that's going on these AAU binges and going to play 1,000 games in the summertime, and they're not getting their drills up, they're going to pass. Somebody's going to pass you up. They're going to pass you up. You got to get the drills in. You got to get the reps in. You got to get your conditioning, all that stuff in. But when it comes to you being on the court, you got to be in a place where EPLAY is recording it, where EPLAY is doing your stats, where EPLAY is putting together a format for you where people know that you're not wasting your time on that court. Because everybody, what they're doing now is you got a kid and you go film him, and then you chop it up and put all his highlights together. You put all his highlights together, now it looks like, oh man, he was the greatest thing since sliced bread, all the highlights. But then when you go and break the game down, you're like, wait a minute, this is not who I thought he was.
No.
But what EPLAY does is really show you where he's good at, his weaknesses, where he can work at, because sometimes if you can't say, for instance, the wing three is a very long three. And I wasn't a three-point shooter, but that shot was very difficult for me for some reason, whether it was the side angle of the backboard or something. It was just difficult for me. But I wasn't too gun shy not to shoot it when wide open. So what EPLAY does is really show that, okay, he's not too good at this, but he doesn't pass up bad shots. He doesn't pass up a good shot to do bad things. And all that stuff really comes into play, especially when you're trying to build a team or you're trying to put somebody in. And then if you're, especially with college basketball, if you are here, if you have the upper echelon of college basketball, high school players that's coming into college, and you're trying to figure out how can I put my team together and contend with a national championship when I don't have the big names, you go to EPLAY, opportunities for you to pick and pluck, and you can put position for position each player on what you need and how your system is ran, and it goes perfect wrong.